Good morning, Cam. So what's the date today?
August the 5th, 2022. Kevin, Cameron, 5th annual ride, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't count the initial year because, you know, it was only a day trip.
Nope.
But some challenges over the years, some fantastic memories, and a beautiful, beautiful way to start a day.
Yeah.
Destination today, Joliet, Montana, the foot of the Beartooth Highway, and that'll be tomorrow's goal. So.
Okay, what are you riding?
1978 Honda Goldwing GL1000. Vetter fairings. And the side story on this girl is that she was on her ear this time last year. So
she was on her ear.
Down, it has risen from the ashes,
yeah.
And we're back at her again for another season.
She was on her ear, and then on her other ear, and then on her other ear, and then on her other ear. So I'm Kevin, and this is our ride. We're looking forward to some nice weather, maybe a bit of rain today. And I am riding. I'll get a better shot here. 2003 Honda ST with 126,000 K on it, and it's taking me there and back every time. So hopefully do that this time too. Cheers. So our ride from Regina to Joliet was pretty uneventful. Some construction and lots of grasshoppers that were on the front of the bikes. I guess Cameron still has some on the front there. So we tried not to hurt any animals on our trip here, but I guess some grasshoppers had to pay the price. So and today it is raining and we are in full rain gear. So how are you feeling about today?
Well, you know what? It's going to be a damp one, Kev, but we're going to take on the Beartooth Pass and the Chief Joseph Scenic Byway and Yellowstone. And we might be wet, but you can't beat the scenery. So
yep.
We're on two wheels, brother.
You got
Let's
it.
go.
Okay, cool. So here we are at the top of the Beartooth. This road just opened not very long ago, so we're kind of lucky and blessed to be able to get up here in time for them to have some fun up here. It is, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 degrees up here, and I think we're wearing more clothes that are in the saddlebags, but we're having a ball. Doesn't matter. Didn't think we were going to make it up here this year, but rock and roll. It's been a wet, I don't know, probably hour. We're stuck in some construction on the Chief Joseph, waiting for a light. Got another half hour to go yet before we get into Cody, and it doesn't look like it's going to break, and it is foggy and very rainy. Well, we kind of had a rainy, wet day yesterday going from Joliet to what was supposed to be our destination, but we ended up here in Cody, Wyoming, which is a pretty nice little place. We've been here before, staying at the same little motel. But it was raining so hard, we thought we better just cool our jets, dry ourselves out a bit, and just stay here in Cody, and then kind of take it off from there. So just a bit after 6 in the morning here on Sunday, and we are headed to...
Our end point for the day will be Ontario, Oregon. So a nice way to start the day right through Yellowstone.
And that's how many kilometers now?
Today is a monster. We're going to make up for some lost time. We've got about 875 clicks planned. So she's, what, 580 miles, I think, was what Google told me.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Early start, long day.
Yeah. Anyway, we're feeling good. We're dry. We're ready to go. Cheers. Well, when we left Cody this morning, we had nothing but an absolute spectacular ride through the Badlands, the mountains, with the sun coming up and low-hanging clouds. It was just terrific. So we went through the park and grabbed a bite to eat there at just as we came out of Yellowstone. Had a really nice meal, and now we're in Rexburg and just gearing down because it's awfully warm. Because coming through the park, it was like 7, 9 degrees. It was a pretty chilly ride right from Cody all the way through Yellowstone, but now we're up around 22, 23 degrees. So we got how many more hours to go? 5?
Oh, about 4 3/4, 5. Something
Okay,
like that.
5 more hours or so to go here. So, all right, cheers. Well, our ride yesterday was pretty awesome. We rode from Cody, Wyoming, in through Yellowstone Park, and it was just some of those beautiful riding we've ever had riding through there. It was down to 6, 7 degrees for most of the ride into the park, but you know, we're kind of dressed for it. And got into the park, and no line up to get in because we were there real early in the morning. Didn't ride very far though, and we met up with one of the residents there. A big orange sheep almost took him out. Cameron deked him out. He tried to deke out Cameron, and then a little bit of a comedy of errors, but they made it through okay. Riding through the park, it was 6, 7 degrees. It was fairly cold, but we just enjoyed it. And yeah, so then we just kept moving on through the park, and then we took we didn't take interstates very much. We kind of took some of the byways and had some really nice, you know,
Sacagawea Scenic Byway.
Oh,
What we took
Sacagawea,
Crater Moon.
yeah, like just beautiful landscape. Like it was, you know, certainly wasn't like Banff style trees and stuff like that, but it was, you know, pretty beautiful stuff. and ended up getting pretty hot during the day, so we went from 6 degrees all the way up to 36 degrees, but you know, we certainly had a great time. And then yeah, so we ended up going right through Boise, just past Boise into Ontario, Oregon is where we're at right now. Sun just came up and it's looking pretty beautiful. Got a kind of a nice clear sky. The sun's coming up here fairly quickly, and then today is how many kilometers again?
Oh, like 780 or something.
780 kilometers.
And from here, we're gonna go north on I believe it's 33 into Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go southwest out of Bend towards Grant Pass, Oregon, and that'll be hopefully where we make her for today. Right on.
All right. Hopefully another terrific day with, other than maybe some mechanical gremlins on one or two of the bikes. Should have a great day. Okay, so yesterday we were in Ontario, Oregon, and rode all the way to Bend, Oregon on some pretty awesome roads, like just beautiful, and hot like crazy. Cam's bike was kind of doing okay.
It was. So
yeah.
Yesterday morning we spent in the McDonald's
Yep.
parking lot, right?
Yep,
so we
exactly.
spent 2 hours waiting for the bike parts shop to open because I needed a new tire.
Yeah.
And heavy backfire issues. I think we talked about that in yesterday morning's post.
Yeah.
We started pulling some stuff off, pulled off a spark plug, and I got a zap like I've never been zapped by a plug wire in my life.
Here, show them. Here, hang on.
So we'll get in here.
There you go.
Yeah, so it turned out it was plug number 2. We pulled off plug 4 and we trimmed out the wire back, made the connection better because they're screw-on caps. And then when we pulled off 2 to do the same thing, the bottom of the boot had split and cracked. So we taped it up with some electrical tape, put it back together, put it all on, and all of a sudden the zap was gone, and so was the nasty backfire. So it turns out, it looks like the plug boot was arcing to the head, causing the issues. So we ended up leaving Ontario, Oregon yesterday. We rode Highway 26 pretty well all the way into Bend. If you've never been down that path, you have an opportunity, highly recommend. Absolutely gorgeous canyon scenery, magnificent. So this morning we started out our day here in Bend, Oregon. We called every shop within 100 miles of here trying to find a tire, and the story behind that is a 17-inch rear in a cruiser tire that's rated for a Goldwing's weight is a kind of like a hen's teeth unicorn type of scenario. They're out there, people have seen them, they exist, but you know, they're definitely not on every corner. So we found a scrambler tire.
There, let's see it.
You know, kind of an on-road, off-road type of unit here that is a remarkably aggressive tread compared to what I'm normally running. But it's on and it's set, and you know, it didn't cost me my firstborn, thankfully. And it is a little bit lighter weight rating, but it'll do the job, it'll get us home, and we can continue putting on miles. So it seems to be running good, tire's good. The goal for the rest of today is to find the coast. We met a real nice man at breakfast this morning. He suggested we take a specific route, so we're gonna head south of Bend here about 30 miles and then head west towards the Pacific coast. And where we end today is a bit of a surprise. I've got some ideas, but it all depends on how much time we make in the next 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right now, basically 1:30 in the afternoon, we're just getting on the highway. Hopefully 5 or 6 hours of actual distance under our belt.
Yeah.
And when it comes to helpful people, like, yeah, if you're ever in Bend, Oregon, Caliber, right?
Yep.
Caliber Power Sports was absolutely lights out.
Yeah,
they're getting a hell of a Google review, I'll tell you what.
And we've gotten that everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And it just finished pouring rain, huge lightning strikes, loud as all hell. So we've got kind of nice sky now, but we'll see how long it lasts. We're going to keep the rain gear on, so yeah, we're looking forward to the rest of the ride here. Get some miles on today.
We aren't going to have time to go in, but there's the last Blockbuster in America. Kev doesn't know what he wants to watch tonight. Not enough time to decide. Beetlejuice. Perfect. All right, again with the World of Adventures. We're about 10 miles, 12 miles-ish from Reedsport, Oregon, right on the Mill Creek Bridge, and coming down the hill up here, just kind of right up by the highway sign. You can barely see off in the distance. Coming down the hill, tire went out. The brand new one we just put on. Looks like the tube went flat. I'm not sure if we pinched it or poked it or if I picked up a road hazard. I wobbled it out and managed to, you know, ride it out for the most part. I just leaned it over just as I was coming to a stop. I'm okay. Just a little bit banged up on my left elbow. Saddlebag took a hard hit. Fairing took a good scuff. I sent Kev ahead into the community, hoping to get a tow truck. 7:15 p.m. Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. Well, the situation is far from ideal, but the scenery really is breathtaking as I stand here and think about the situation at hand. The trees are well above my head, the roots of that one literally hanging off of a cliff. All of them quite large. And a very large river just on the other side of that guardrail.
So after our tire solution happening for Cam's bike there in Bend, Oregon yesterday, we were going to ride towards the coast, and we had plans for, you know, kind of arrival about 8-9 o'clock at our next destination. I don't remember the town we were supposed to get to, but absolutely gorgeous ride, riding right through these, you know, mountainous passes, curvy roads and trees all over the place, and getting closer to the coast. It was starting to get cooler. Just gorgeous ride. And we're coming through this pass, about to kind of come along this lake leading into Reedsport, Oregon, and just absolutely spectacular views. But then all of a sudden, Cam's bike, he starts putting his hand out to slow down, and he starts to fishtail, and I'm stopping, and all of a sudden he tumbles and goes over sideways. I thought, crap, he had a blowout. So yeah, back tire, the tire that just got put on, ended up blowing. So we ended up, I went into Reedsport because we had no cell service. I went into Reedsport and got on the phone and contacted a flat deck, and flat deck followed me out to where Cam was, and we loaded his bike up onto the flat deck and hauled it into Reedsport, Oregon. So that's where we stayed overnight, and you know, kind of just licking our wounds, and you know, feel sorry for ourselves. But you know what, I put it out to Cam that you know, bad day, even having issues with a motorcycle is better than working for most people, and that's what we're trying to focus on. So Cam's just took my bike from the motel up to this shop where his bike got dropped off last night. So he's starting to pull it apart. I'm just walking up to the shop where his bike is, so we can pull that tire off and hopefully get the tube patched and be back on the road. All right, good times for sure. We're learning lots of good lessons about being better prepared for these trips and making sure we've got, you know, tire patch solutions and the knowledge to be able to fix them. Anyway, good lessons to learn.
Welcome to day 6, folks. Kevin and I have been blogging our daily days, or as we start our days. This morning we are in Reedsport, Oregon, and unfortunately outside a motorcycle repair shop again. Coming into town last night, maybe, I don't know, 15 miles out of town, 10 miles out of town, something like that. Coming down the side of the hill, and my back tire went out. The one we just had put on. We're hoping it's just a puncture or a pinch tube of some variety, but the long and the short of it is I'm down. Cost me $225 American for a tow, so we had that looked after. This shop opens at 9 a.m. Right now it's in the neighborhood of about 7:45, so I want to get the back tire off and accessible, and we'll see if he has the materials to keep us rolling. Updates to come. Okay, she took about 30 minutes to get the tire off the back of the bike. So I've got it up on the stand. Kev came along. He had to walk up because I rode his bike up. My left hip is killing me after smacking it yesterday. We've got the tire off, and he just ran up to Napa to see if they got a set of tire hook wrenches to pop the thing off the rim. This shop opens in half an hour. We're going to see if we can get the tube out and see what went wrong first. More updates to come, folks. Okay, so update number 2. Buddy got in the tire shop, and he's going to help me out. Doesn't sound terribly thrilled about doing it. It's not really his specialty. He's definitely a dirt tire kind of guy. Kev ran down to Napa, picked up a set of spoons. We tried to peel it off the rim and we squished the hell out of the aluminum. It did not go well, so we're letting him mess with it. Good news is it looks like he's got a 17-inch tube. Might not be exact, but it should fit. We're still waiting for him to get the tire off the rim to see if we can determine what actually caused the problem.
So here we are in Reedsport, Oregon. Like I said this morning, tires back on, repaired, new tube. Cam just got her almost back together. So looks like we're gonna be back on the road here very shortly. Pacific Coast Highway next to come very soon. How are you feeling now, sir?
Well, better that we're back on two wheels, brother. We'll see how the day treats us. I think this is 3. Is it not?
This is 3.
Bad spark, burnt out tire, bad rim. I think this is 3.
Okay,
so
we're done.
I'm gonna count. We're done.
We're done.
Godspeed. Let's go.
Cool. Okay, once again, tires on. We're all geared up, ready to go. Where are we headed, sir?
North as far as we can go.
On what?
I think in a perfect world, I'd like to make it to past Astoria, maybe even a Walla Walla type of thing.
Okay.
But that's ambitious. That's like 700K. I don't think that'll happen. No. So Astoria is about 500. I think that's probably achievable.
Yep.
Bike's back together. Just got the crazy glue to put the sunglasses back together after I laid her over yesterday. I cracked those for the second time. They were cracked before I left. So
a little bit of road rash.
A little bit of road rash. Took some chunks off the fairing here.
Yeah.
And in the bottom corner of the side pannier there is skinned, and then I pulled it's bungee corded up because the hinge is loose. So we'll have to drill out those rivets when we get home, put in new ones.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think the big note is to Whole Shot Power Sports here in Reedsport, Oregon. Chad and Grayson, you know, normally dirt bike and quad kind of guys. And they took on that aluminum Comstar this morning and really took care of us. So again, through the kindness of others, this trip has continued to go on instead of riding home in a U-Haul truck with our tail between our legs.
And it doesn't hurt to be incredibly stubborn like we are. So
yep,
we're trying to be that way.
Work the problem, right?
Yeah, work the problem.
Work the problem.
Okay.
Rubber down this time, guys.
Well, we made it to the Pacific Coast Highway and the Pacific Ocean. We could not be more happy about that. Holy man. I know somebody else who's happy too.
Not for a lack of other issues, but we made her. And it is absolutely gorgeous. And we've only seen, you know, 400 yards of it. We got another
10 minutes. 10
yeah,
minutes so far.
Not even.
Yeah.
Yep. So next hour is pretty much all coastline. And yeah, should be good. 31 miles north of Reedsport, Oregon. And after what was another little bit of issue as we came into Florence, all of a sudden I had no power, backfiring again. Turns out the other 2 plug wires on the other side needed to be trimmed back to running again. But this is the first turnout as we come around the corner where we have the Pacific Ocean in the background. China, somewhere way over there. But over my left shoulder we've got some sand dunes. Really miles of coastline that you can see from this vantage point. And then if we turn around the other way, she's all ocean. And the rest of the terrain off behind us here is really nothing to scoff at. We've driven past some beautiful lakes and it's worth it, folks.
Okay, a little bit of a change of plans there from yesterday. We were pretty happy to hit the PCH. I mean, that was every bit as beautiful as I thought it was going to be. But Cam's bike is still giving us a little bit of trouble. It is a 44-year-old motorcycle where parts are really hard to come by, tires are hard to come by. It's a real challenging bike, but it sure gets a lot of love from the public. Whenever we roll up somewhere, he gets, you know, probably 10 people will come up to him about his bike over my one. And but the people who don't like it are parts people. So that's kind of what we're kind of dealing with here. But tell us what happened yesterday then.
Okay, so we didn't make it all of 60 miles up the coast, and I ran into serious power issues every 10 seconds. It felt like, and I'm sure I'm exaggerating, all of a sudden I was losing spark, I was losing power, it was dieseling real hard. Not as heavy of a backfire as the other day, but like you could smell the gas and it was really underperforming. So we ended up pulling over in a place called Glendon, I believe, just south of Lincoln City on the coast there, and we did a bunch of Googling and we made a whole bunch of phone calls. I think we called every parts department and Honda dealer and cycle shop within about 150 miles.
Easily. And
we actually, so what we ended up doing is we talked to Dynatech, who makes the aftermarket coils for this bike. You know, the folks at Dynatech, absolutely outstanding in terms of their knowledge and their helpfulness. They gave us a bunch of cycle shops in the Portland area, which is kind of the closest major center to where we were on the coast. We made a few phone calls, and one of the local cycle shops had 1 out of 2 coils. So we thought, you know what, let's get that secured because something is better than nothing. And then we made our way into Portland. We got into Portland and we picked up what we needed for parts. We ended up spending the night in Vancouver, Washington. And then this morning, through a little bit more research and digging, we found all the plug wires and stuff we needed. We went to put it together and realized we've run into a bit of an issue with the stock coils and the resistance they run at versus the replacement coil. And because I only have one, we're gonna have some, you know, not serious, but possible incompatibility. And the reality is that for the last 50 miles, it hasn't coughed or sputtered once. Even on the way across from the coast yesterday of, you know, 65, 70 miles we went, it only gave me grief for maybe 20 of them. So we've made the decision to pack the parts in the saddlebag, call it an emergency kit, and keep heading east towards home, simply because pulling it apart in a parking lot and then having further issues doesn't leave me with a pile of confidence. So currently in Camas, Washington, and headed east up the Lewis and Clark Highway along the Columbia River. And we're going to make our way kind of along the river and then head north into Spokane, and then kind of make our way north from there back towards Canada.
Yeah. And got to say that, you know, this isn't the most, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful city, but I guess drugs have been more or less decriminalized, and there's just rampant drug addiction everywhere, homelessness, you know, and then in spite of that, you see pretty well most of these places we ride around to, they're you know, looking for help, right? So there's labor shortages to go along with that. So, you know, not the, you know,
Portland was not our favorite place on the trip. It's one of the reasons we made our way up and north into Vancouver. That felt a little bit better. And you know what, the reality is that we're both small town boys, and we really enjoy the plains, and I can't wait to get back out into and see what rural Washington has to offer.
Yeah. Well, we're going to kind of have to rename our ride here the Great Goldwing Scavenger Hunt. So, you know, thank goodness for the aftermarket with NGK, Dynatech, Randak, and stuff like that that still carry parts and upgraded parts for these bikes. But, you know, I think Cameron and probably me as well, we have a lot of work to do to get that bike in shape for next year and make sure that, you know, she's going to be reliable for the miles going forward. She's a great bike. She just got, you know, old parts that just are a bit worn and they need to be refreshed, and so we'll work towards that. All right, on the road. Okay, so Friday morning, been a week since we left. We're in Spokane. Had a really nice ride in. Good chunk of it was interstate, which wasn't bad. Nice kind of sunset as we rode in, and you know, it was definitely hot, but we were moving and making lots of good time. So yeah, and then just had a really nice breakfast with some friends of Cam's that I hadn't met before, and yeah, we really nice time. So what's on the go for today here?
Yeah,
Okay,
so we're heading north out of Spokane. We're going to take the 290 north, effectively right up to US 2. And then US 2, we'll follow it all the way over to Kalispell. And then from there, we'll pop up and we're going to do the Going to the Sun Road in Glacier. Yeah. So today is Glacier National Park Day, along with, I'm sure, all of the magnificent scenery we've yet to see on the way.
Yep, and the bike's running good.
Yeah.
All yesterday, she ran like a champ.
36, 37 degrees Celsius almost all day.
Yep.
And
good mileage and everything too.
Yeah, like we averaged, like I had about a 36 mile to the gallon average, even in that heat at 70 mile an hour. And it is right now the intermittent problems I was having, I'm not having at the moment. No. So just very thankful and blessed to be rolling towards home and having a good time doing it.
Yeah, yeah, guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Off to a good day. This video probably doesn't even come close to doing justice to the clouds at the sunset here in Cut Bank, Montana. Holy man. Beautiful evening. Ugh. Last night in the States on our bike trip. Cameron, where do we ride from today?
Spokane, baby.
Spokane, Washington, to through Glacier National Park, but we didn't go up and do the Going to the Sun. It was rainy,
you have
gross.
You have to book a reservation, which I didn't realize until we met a guy in northern Idaho, and he asked, "Did you have to book a reservation?" Which we didn't do. Okay. Because that's new post-COVID. So. We just took US 2 all the way across to Idaho and now into Montana. Yep. Now with the exception of a little bit of rain around Kalispell, a real good ride. Yeah, yeah, it was good. Good highways. So we're in Cut Bank now and just going for our supper on our last night. And no helmets here, so we get to ride from the hotel to our restaurant and not have to worry about helmets. Don't tell Mama. Alright, we're being super safe. Check out Westphalia being towed by a 50s bus. And yeah, that's about a late 70s Honda CT. Love it, guys. Beautiful Montana morning. Nothing but US 2. Well, you know, sometimes in life, so we decided to cross north of Havre, Montana at Willow Creek. And it says it's a highway. So here we are on Saskatchewan Highway 18/21. Ain't much of a highway, folks. It's pretty tough when you're riding motorcycles down a gravel highway. Okay, we just got back. It's Saturday night, just after what, 6:30, so we're right around there. 9 days of travel. 9 days of travel. And how many kilometers, sir? 265 passed at a good oil change, so my apologies to the old girl. 5,264 kilometers total traveled, 3,265 miles.
Wow.
That's just about 1,000 short of what was planned. We
Yep.
were 6,137 planned miles.
Yep.
And if you want to be real particular, we're missing the 13 miles that my motorcycle had a tow,
Right.
that yours didn't.
Yeah.
So
Well, actually, I went.
you went there
back and
and
forth
back
a couple
because
times.
you chased the truck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well, and we have to add in about what? Probably 45 to 50 kilometers of pure gravel. We had gravel again today, north of Havre, Montana. We come across the border, and our welcoming present home to Saskatchewan was about, I don't know,
it was close to 40K worth of gravel.
40K worth of gravel, plus we had gravel going down as well, just due to construction, but not on a permanent basis. So, yeah. But anyway, we're home safe and sound, plus one brand new tire, and some electronic parts for the wing. And mine's just real dirty, and definitely will need new tires here shortly, but be good for now. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for checking out the video. We had really a lot of fun making it. Looking forward to next year.
It was a great trip.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers.
Stay safe, everyone. Rubber down.